Yo, what's going on, Trojan family? Ryan Dyrud, Tim Prangley here from the USC LAFB. Massive victory for USC Trojans, 26-21 here at a rainy Coliseum. We actually have a break, of course. The game ends, the rain stops. The sun was peeking out. It's kind of now looks like rain's coming back, so we'll see how we go without this starting. But man, you were down on the field. You look fairly dry. Drier than I expected. What was it like down here? What was the atmosphere like down on the field?
The atmosphere was amazing, and Coach Riley even brought up about the student section, talking about how much they've been engaged the whole year, and they were. The student section were behind us. It wasn't the largest crowd, but the people that came here, they were loud, and they were supporting SC, and it was electric. And the way it came on in the fourth quarter, especially down to that when they waited for the see if he was in bounds, it was complete on the fourth down, this whole place lit up, so it was great to hear.
So even though I'm just right there in the press box, but you really can't see like how hard it's raining. Like I can only tell when I'm looking at the lights. How hard was it raining all game? Did it let up at all, or was it actually raining like the entire game pretty hard?
Yeah, no. This end of the second quarter, third quarter is really very mellow, but just like at Notre Dame, South Bend, it came down in buckets in the fourth quarter, and USC actually moved the ball well. And Makai Lemon, I mean, we can talk about that in a minute, but just some concentration catches. He was getting hit hard and hang on to the ball in this rain. It's a great win for the Trojans.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the PA announcer up in the press box said 65,000 here, which I think is a pretty good number considering the weather.
There's no way there was more than 30,000 people here, but that was great.
There was more than that, but yeah, I don't know about 65. But anyway, let's start with this. First half woes continue. Obviously going down 21-10 into halftime. Defense gives up the touchdown on the first drive. USC goes 3 and out, shanked punt. They go up 14-0. It just looked like it was going to be all bad. But then in the second half, we see this team is just a completely different team. 0 points, so now 6 total points across 6 second half quarters. This defense has given up, and the offense has been fairly dominant in all of those 6 quarters as well. I mean, what do you think of that? Or are we just at a point where we just buckle up, it's going to be an ugly first half, and let's just enjoy the second half?
Second halves are about coaching and culture. And if you have both those things, you're going to have a lot of second halves where you come out. The Pete Carroll era, we would see that. They kind of, like in a boxing match, they flew each other out for the first couple rounds, and then USC comes on and just absolutely closes the door. It was good to see USC contain the run game. They gave a few more yards than I would like. They got Iowa got to about 180 yards. I got to double check the final stats, but they did keep Gronkowski under like 130 yards passing. So on the day, it looked scary in the beginning, but USC, which is coaching, you got to give Danton Lynn all the credit. You got to give Lincoln Riley and Makai Lemon. That's culture, that's coaching, and that's how you win ball games.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Gronowski, I always want to say Gronkowski. Gronowski ended up with like 137 yards. He had 68 on the first drive. So after that first drive, they really shut the pass down and kind of controlled at least that spot. So I think, Tim, what impressed me about this defense, and I know, it's still not like necessarily a championship level defense, but you lose Kamari Ramsey, you lose Bishop Fitzgerald. There was a time when Keyshawn Silver goes down. There was one time, Tim, when there was 7 freshmen on the defense. When you think about and Kennedy Urlacher as a sophomore who hasn't played this year as the transfer, and then you have on the outside you have 2 redshirt freshmen. You have true freshmen in the middle and the interior. You have redshirt freshmen at linebacker and Jaden Walker. I mean, we say it a lot, and I'm not saying it to make an excuse whatsoever, but the youth on this team has got to excite people because you see that, there were still some growing pains. There was that blown coverage in the first half. When you're missing your 2 starting safeties, that's going to happen sometimes. But the way they turned it in that second half and just really, the defense dominated in that second half with that youth. It's exciting for the future.
Both sides. The offense is young too. I mean, obviously, I don't plan on seeing Jacoby Lane and Makai Lemon back, and Jay's got a very difficult decision. I'm sure he's going to be weighing and see what his comes in. But the defense comes in. Urlacher was not the young guy you just did, but he came one play in the flat here in the game. Really kind of one of the plays that turned the tide. That could have gone for a touchdown. Oh, yeah. And he got outside. They stretched it out. He got there, made the play. So a lot of names we don't know that we don't hear a lot shine today, and they have to. And Riley talked about that. This late in the season, you get into November, football, I say it, and people hate me saying it, but it's true. It's a game of attrition, and when you get to late in the season, you're going to need to rely on guys that you probably didn't know their names at the beginning of the year. So it's good to see USC doing that.
Yeah, well, and it's clear that this team is so much further along than last year. This is another game they lose last year. I mean, how many of these games do they lose last year that they're winning this year? And now sitting at 8-2, going up to Eugene, which we'll talk a lot this week. It's going to be a fun week talking smack with Ducks fans and whatnot. But, they put themselves in a position to have essentially a play-in game for the playoff in a week, and they did it again in the second half doing that. Jacoby Lane, we'll talk about Makai Lemon before we wrap this up, but Jacoby Lane had that drop on the first drive. The ball was a little bit behind him, but it hit him in the arms, had the drop, and then after that, he was pretty lights out. What did you see down here field level of Lane? Because I thought he bounced back in a big way, made some critical catches to help this team.
He had one catch where our angle, Chris and I were right here, and we were looking, and the way he had to reach over the receiver, I don't know if you got it on the TV copy, but it was just an amazing catch. It may not show up in the stat sheet, but him making those catches kind of turns the game. And problem with USC is I think they had, I'll look at the stat, but they had a number of first downs off of receptions in this game, and third and long and third and medium that USC came and made the plays. And we've seen a situation where when he was hurt and his shoulder was out, this offense struggled. But when he's healthy, like we saw in the second half, they come to play. So it's good to see him back and healthy. I think between the two, I think they had 17. I think Makai had 10 and Jacoby had 7, so 17 catches between the two. That's going to win ball games as well. Yeah,
and Makai Lemon goes over 1,000 yards on the season with 2 games to play. Had like 157 or so total in this game with the touchdown. I mean, is he winning the Bitnikov? I know how good the guys over at Ohio State are, but he's right there in terms of talent and skill level, and I think he's even higher in terms of what he means to this team. Like, without Makai Lemon, this offense is not what it is. He's just so dang good. And in the rain, it doesn't matter, making critical catches, that almost somewhat seam route that he caught, like, over the safety, rain coming down. It doesn't matter. The dude just makes plays. How special is this kid?
Well, when you make plays like that, you're an MVP of your offense. You really are. With a lot of playmakers on this team, there's got to be Makai Lemon. Without him, what would the record be? What would USC's record be? He's the glue that makes this thing go. I just talked about Jacoby Lane going down and kind of made it sluggish. Without Lemon, you guys, where is this offense, really? I'm sure guys would step up, but it would not be playing at the level, at the top of college football like it is right now.
Yeah, 100%. So he's been fantastic. And, over 1,000 yards. Like, will we see him get to 1,500? He's got to have some monster games to get to that. But certainly a fantastic season and should finish right up near the top for that Bitnikov when it's said and done. Just a huge win. I don't know. Do you have any kind of final thoughts or remarks? Or okay, let's say this real quick. Not to be negative, but another critical illegal man downfield penalty. All 3 this year have been critical. 2 on touchdowns. This one was on a critical third down that gave them first and goal, basically, on another great Jacoby Lane touchdown. I mean, luckily they overcame it, but how do you fix that? Killian O'Connor hasn't played, obviously, in many weeks, and he now comes in back at the starter at center, so maybe that's part of it, because it has been guys coming off the bench, basically, that have had that happen to them. But, a little disappointing to see it again.
Yeah, it's a lack of focus. They have to know what they're doing. And sometimes an RPO game, it can get confusing for your linemen. But on this play, it didn't look like that was the issue. But I will say, the silver lining on this is, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it can't happen, but we're not seeing false starts. We're not seeing a lot of holding penalties. And when we do see a holding penalty in this conference, it's weird. The timing's weird. I'm just going to say it right now. It's usually after a big play, and they throw a flag on it. They did it a couple times tonight. But you just got to clean those things up. Overall, the offensive line, what Hanson's doing with the offensive line is just short of miraculous. And this team is always to go as far, the offense always goes as far as this offensive line, and so far they look great. Yeah,
Tim, another offensive line combination had to be thrown together in this game. Elijah Page goes down. We don't know the severity of it. Didn't look great. I don't know if he's done for the season or whatnot, but obviously was probably still a little banged up even coming in. But what they did, I'm sure you noticed, but for those that maybe didn't, typically when he's been out, Tobias Raymond has gone over to right tackle. Justin Tawanu has gone over to left tackle. And then they've put either Micah Benuelos or Kalen Miller at guard. This time, Tobias Raymond goes from left guard to left tackle. They leave Justin Tawanu at right tackle. They bring Kalen Miller in at left guard, where he played right guard last week for Alani Noah. So, the combinations they're doing with and how these guys are still able to play at such a high level is elite coaching from Hanson and elite just talent and dedication to this offensive line being so versatile across the offensive line. I don't think I've ever seen an offensive line do that, where you have guys have played virtually every position and still are able to dominate.
Yeah, that's what they've been preaching almost for 2 years now, about how versatile, and kind of what I talked about, this young group. Now it's not young anymore, but these guys that came up that we've talked about for a couple of years, they are versatile. They're big. They're athletic. And, Tobias has been out there at left tackle a little bit. But, it's good to see that all these different combinations can work. And you have to absorb these penalties late in November, which bodes well for the Trojans, not only for this season but for next year, having all this young depth.
Yeah. All right, last thing for you, Tim. So into the game, USC has the ball to run the clock out and facing, I think it was second down at that time, and Iowa gets an unsportsmanlike conduct on the sideline of the coaching staff. I don't know if I've ever seen Lincoln Riley more fired up. I don't know where you were on the field. I'm obviously way up high just looking down, but he was fired up. Did you have a good angle of him, or did you see him?
No, I was in the corner. I was right over that corner right there, so I wasn't able to see Riley on that. But I'll tell you what a bonehead play. It allowed it just to put the last nail in your coffin for an assistant coach to lose his cool. I'm glad that didn't happen on our side.
Yeah, Lincoln was fired up. The locker room was fired up. Big, cool moment out here with Jen Cohen, athletic director, and Lincoln embracing, and you could just see how much this game meant for this program, for this season, for the staff, for these players, for these fans. All around, great day for the Trojans, and big win. On to Oregon.
On to Oregon.
Yeah, well, Tim Prangley, Ryan Dyrud. I might be heading over to the Crypt to go watch USC women's basketball now play South Carolina, so we'll see that. You're going to go dry off, probably take a shower, maybe hot tub.
Drink and shower and just watch some night football, yeah.
Drink and hot tub sounds nice. So, Tim Prangley, I'm Ryan Dyrud. This is USC LAFB. Thanks, everyone. Bye now. Hey, Trojan family, thank you so much for hanging out and watching the USC LAFB show. Before you go, let me tell you quickly about our friends over at Sleeper. Go right now, download the Sleeper app. It's the #1 sports app, not just for season-long fantasy, but they've got live pickers, they've got live stat updates, they've got a chat that you can chat with other users, plus the daily pick'em, which is a blast, or daily fantasy, whatever you want to call it. You go and pick 2 to 8 players across any sports. If you're talking USC, go choose Jade Mayav in his next matchup. Pick more or less passing yards, more or less touchdowns. You stack those, and you can win real money. When you go to make your first deposit, make sure you use our promo code USCLAFB. You're going to get a match deposit up to $100. Put in $100, you get $100 free to play with from Sleeper. Put in $10, they'll match you that $10, so now you're sitting at $20 to play with. But also, right now, for any new users, no deposit required. You get $20 free entry. You can stack both. You can get the $20 for free, go make a deposit, use USC LAFB, and now you've got a bunch of free money to play with right there on the Sleeper app. Check it out, Trojan family, and when you do, tell them the guys at the USC LAFB sent you.